So, Courtney, let's talk a little bit about this episode that you did on Scandal.
The episode was about a black father. It's about fatherhood. It's about a man who said he's done everything right in a bad situation where people are being black young men are being killed left and right in a neighborhood that's questionable. He was on his boy. He so much so that when they said, when the police and people said he had a knife, he said, "My boy does not carry a knife. I know my boy. He does not have a knife." He said, "I did everything right. I did this right. I did that right, and I had people checking on him. He was a good boy. He did the things I asked him to do, and yet and still, there he is on the ground. And instead of saying the system failed him, he said, I didn't do right by my boy. He's on the ground dead, even in spite of all that we did to ensure that he would end up, he wouldn't become a statistic. There he is, a statistic. And one of the most moving things I've ever said as an actor, that I've done all the right things, and he still ended up on the ground before he graduated from high school. And as a parent, that's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to bury your children. So I see why it is in this day and time where we're actually dealing with, as a culture, black president, 2015, all kinds of advances technologically and socially, and and we're back. It's like we're in a throwback mode where we have and so much so it's a very special time because we can see everything. Everybody's got a camera, which is what this episode is about. Everybody has a camera, and so business as usual, quote unquote, potentially by the police, they can't do business as usual, and because people are Instagramming and Facebooking and FaceTiming and Skyping and Twittering right in front of them. So a negotiated truce has to be bridged in the moment, and it's just fascinating the way what ensues. You would as one of the things I think that the father, my character, says to Olivia Pope is, we both know how this is going to end up. Either me dead or life in prison. We both know how this is going down. And she could say nothing. And that's the sad part, I think that's the really sad part, is because black man, you assume in your mind he's dead. Young black man, you assume that the young black man was doing something wrong. Put everything flip it, white young man, you don't make that assumption in your mind, in your spirit. And that's the shift that has to happen and I was talking to a police officer around in our neighborhood, and he said, it's so real. He said, I have a black police officer who's a very, very good friend of mine, and my fellow police officers don't like the fact that he and I are tight. So I said, you can imagine if a black police officer who's a brother, they don't like to be tight with. You can imagine how they feel in the field about coming upon a black man. They shift into a mode, and that's the thing that has to be negotiated. How we teach children about, because children aren't raised and aren't born hating. They don't hate. You see children of all races playing together. It's not until they're taught, socialized about hate, that they start. And as just listening to a law enforcement gentleman talk about the socialization of police officers, it was just, it's painful. We live in a very, very interesting time, which is why this episode I think is so interesting, and will be so interesting to so many people, because it touches that nerve. It takes us back to OJ. It takes us back to Rodney King. It takes us back to Trayvon, to all the incidences, and when one happens, we realize we haven't got it yet. We haven't dropped down and admitted that we are still emotionally back in slavery. Emotionally, we're back teaching our children the exact same thing.